You made it. You're back. Aboard the ship. Aboard the gaming Galleon. I'm Captain Raz. I'm the guy you're stuck with for the next 60 minutes. I hope you can handle it. Because this one's a long time coming, baby. A long time coming. You know, this didn't start with a question that I got in the mailbag very long ago. The mailbag, the bag that tells no tales, that you see by the asteroids machine, where we pull questions from you guys at the end of every voyage, paper and pencil, where I try my best to answer your queries and comments and whatnot. It didn't start there, but it's certainly related. More often than not, I can answer what you guys threw at me, but I remember a long time years ago, a question was posed to me that was gaming related, and me playing a game or two, a pirate who has a beautiful hold with piles of games of every shape and size and denomination from the past 50 years. You would think that I would have no problem answering a question of that nature. However, I was stymied when a crewman of ours named Bose asked me, "What is your favorite PlayStation 1 platformer?" He asked, I was completely blindsided and had no real answer. He was so interested in this that he asked a second time. Look, you tried to answer my question. You didn't really give me much. Okay, so let me expand on it a little bit for you. Okay? If you can't just give me your favorite PlayStation 1 platformer, can you give me your favorite platformer on any system? Any console. The Atari. The Virtual Boy. The Lynx. The Super Nintendo. Give me something. It was a hard question for me. I think at the time, I took it as a 3D platformer. And I think that's really tough. Anyway, I thought about it. And then I realized that there was a platformer of sorts, a 3D platformer of sorts, that when I got the ship and started loading video games onto it years ago, and discovered that the navigator that sits mere inches from me can take a game and transport the ship to the location that game takes place in, I realized that there was one game that was on a short list of must-dos. And for whatever reason, has never gotten its due time. Well, that changes today. That changes today. It is a very special game. A game that at the time was celebrated critically, but for whatever reason fell through the cracks, most likely because it was in a saturated market of many 3D platformers at the time. It is hard to even say that it is a platformer. It is more of an experience. It is more of a living, breathing adventure. And in my opinion, one of the greatest swan songs of gaming and one of its greatest tragedies. Because as the years went on and the cult following for it grew, we never saw anything from it again. It is like when you find your favorite show or your favorite book and you read through it, or you get the DVDs and you watch it and you get to the last episode or the last chapter and you realize that it's gone. Either the author died, or maybe for business sake, maybe a bad scheduling, the show never made it. Despite being great and sticking with you. That is this game. For me and for many. We're going to get right to it. We've got booty at the bottom of the hour. And we do have a question in the mailbag. But this one goes out to Bose, a long-awaited answer. And I'd also like to make a side dedication to my dear sister. This one is special to her as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves on the war-torn planet of Hillys. In the game, Beyond Good and Evil for the PlayStation 2, the original Xbox, and the GameCube. We will be playing Beyond Good and Evil HD. That was available for the PlayStation 3 years later. A remaster, a full port. Why did I choose that rather than play the old disc? Well, rather than sample this game, a game I've played all the way 3 years ago and then presented to you, I felt that it was special enough that I needed to sit down and take the time to relive this story from beginning to end one more time before I brought it to you. It is that important of a game, in my opinion. For this genre, for this generation, and maybe for gaming as a whole. Without further ado, I give you Beyond Good and Evil. Alright, a little video, a little audio. Forgetting something? I don't think so. This is Jade, and this is her story. Jade lives in a lighthouse. You guys getting audio? I think so. Make sure. Oh, my controller's dead. That's why. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're getting audio. Good. Jade lives in a lighthouse on an island on planet Hillys, a planet that is being invaded by a race called the Doms. She's a bit of a photographer, as you can see here. And as you get to learn about her story and the world around her, you learn about how important this skill is toward the freedom of Hillys. We're not going to get into that today. That's a story you'll have to discover on your own. Maybe we'll get into it a little bit along the way, but what I really want to do is just experience Hillys a little bit. There's a big wide world out there, and there's a lot to do. There's a race today in the city, and we're going to compete in that. We've also got a buddy who's waiting at a bar in the city who wants to get involved in a bit of a gambling game with us. And there's a couple of unexplored corners that I think we should go and check out that I haven't gone in myself. Despite playing through this game all the way through, I made sure to keep a couple of cracks and corners undiscovered for myself after 2 decades, so that you and I can share it together in a pure moment. Okay? Alright. Looks like our dog here has got something in his jaw here. Let's see if we can get it from him.
Can't play now, okay? No, Wolf,
Oh.
no!
Looks like he's not having it. Come back here, you. You can hear on the radio breaking news bulletins of the war that's going on between the Alpha sections and the Doms. It's a war-torn planet, but obviously, life continues. In front of me here is Double H sitting next to Wolf. He is part of the Hillian Planetary Guard. And we work together. We're partners. Let's see if we can catch
Cut it
Wolf
out,
before
Wolf.
we head
Give
out.
that back to me.
Come here, you. Give me that snack. I could use something. Got him.
You lose, Fleabag. Now give it back.
Thanks, buddy. Don't mind if I do. Alright, Double H. Let's head into the city. This is Hillys. As I said, we're on an island here. We live in a lighthouse. It's a refuge. Refuge? My mistake. For lost children, orphans. And Jade herself was also orphaned long ago. She's grown up on this island for the past 20 years or so. And this is home. You see those tunnels over there and the buildings on the horizon? That's where we're headed. That's Hillys. That's the city, I should say. The planet is Hillys. The city? That's where all the action is, baby. Alright? Our first stop is going to be the Akuta Bar. We've got a score to settle. Oh, wait, no. Our first stop is probably to get the old hovercraft fixed up. Let's head to the hangar. The hangar located in the mountain. And because there's so much water around us, obviously, we need some sort of amphibious mode of transportation. There she is. She's a little beat up, but she's reliable. She definitely could use a tune-up, though. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to head to the local garage and see if we can get her fixed up. There she is. Just ahead of us is Mamago Garage. And as you can see, they had a bit of a fire recently. That is from the Dom's attack. From somewhere outside the planetary sector that came down on us unannounced. Luckily, the Alpha sections were here to take them out. Mamago's got hit, but it's still up and running. Lucky for us. Because if we're going to get in a race today, we're going to need the hovercraft in tip-top shape.
They always come back to Mamago's.
What's this guy's name? I forgot. Anyway, he's running the desk. We're going to head into the shop here and see if we can get some parts to fix up the old hovercraft.
Account identification. Okay. A set of pods completely restores your vehicle's energy.
Alright, heading out.
A box of K-Bups completely
Thank you.
restores your energy.
I'm already full. Good. As you can see, there's Rhino Sapiens here. Actually, I believe. Is that what they're called? Let's take a look. Jade has a side job where she catalogs all of the different species around Hillys. This is another result of the war. There's so much of an issue of the Doms attacking that there's a concern that some of the species may not survive it. So Jade has been asked by the local science center to log every species she can. The Rhinoceros sapiens. Okay.
Bravo, Jade.
Got a little scratch for that.
Okay, your roll of film is
Great.
finished. Good. I'll transfer a pearl to
Oh,
you, Jade.
great, a pearl.
And I'll recharge your
Pearls
phone.
are very important on this planet. At least to Jade, because the Mamagos here have all the best hovercraft parts. And they trade only in pearls. We don't need anything special right now. We do need to fix up the old ship, though. There she is. Tip-top ship. Alright, I think we're good to go. Alright, take care. So what do you say we go and take her for a spin? Let's go hit a race, okay? I happen to know one in the city. There's a lot of hovercraft races out there. And if you're good enough, if you can get first place, you can generally get a pearl out of the deal. And if I can break the fourth wall for just a moment, pearls are basically, you know, the end game and beyond good and evil. Kind of like stars in Mario 64.
We need the pearl detector from Ming Su's. It's extremely
Okay, got that
tractable.
double H. We might stop by Mingsu's. Yeah, basically if you get all the stars, you've basically done everything there is to do beyond good. Well, I have heard that we can get pearls from races here in the city. You can see there's propaganda about the war being broadcast everywhere. But right now, we've got other business. We're racing today. I haven't done race 2. Have not gone in here in 20 years. So let's see if I've got the skills to bring us home a pearl. Okay?
This is gonna be one heck of a race! Blood, guts, fun for the whole family! Yaga, yaga, yaga! The whips, the weak, and the wusses! Still have 3 more seconds to get the hell out of here and back to your knitting! Ha ha! Tres, dos, uno, go!
The music. The music and Beyond Good and Evil. To me, it reminds me of what made the sound and the music in Star Wars, when it was first brought out to theaters. So special. Kind of like Grand Theft Auto. You know, I feel like Grand Theft Auto, a good reason, aside from the gameplay, was the soundtrack. It was like nothing you've ever heard. And in Beyond Good and Evil, you're going to hear many different types of music represented with some sort of alien dialect. Do all these songs, did any of them actually make sense? I wonder. If you dug deep enough out there, if you asked the developers, did the lyrics make any sense? What they could tell you. I don't know if they are or not, but I can tell you one thing, they're really good. And you will find yourself, as you play this game, humming it. When you have to put it down for a day to get along with your humdrum life.
Lap, lap for the little rookie!
We better do this. We're in second place. We seem to be handling it pretty well. I've got some boosters on the hovercraft, but I don't want to overshoot, so I'm trying to wait for just the right time. Careful. Oh yeah, there we go. Next straightaway, we'll give it a go. Bingo.
We're gonna do
You
it.
got that right,
We're gonna
Double
do
H.
it.
We're
We're
gonna do
gonna
it.
do it. Bunch of losers. They're all losers, Miss Jade.
Unbelievable! It's the little rookie!
Little rookie. Alright, not bad. I think we just earned ourselves a pearl.
Nothing but
Okay, we'll leave that there for now. You guys ready for a little booty? Kill the audio there. And we'll come back there soon, okay? Jade and Double H have taken home the victory. Next thing you know, we're going to have some celebration drinks. Okay? We'll get back there later. For now, what do you say we open up the chest? Okay? Now this... I feel like this is a long time coming show all around. Okay? For one thing, this was a deal that happened before I even got the ship. Okay? This is totally a deal where they didn't know what they had. This is totally a deal where it was before anyone cared. Except the grubby-handed little pirate like myself. Okay? Had this for a long time. I know how much we paid. And I'll have to leave it to you to decide whether or not it was a good deal. But sometimes if you find something in a store, and it's not necessarily for a song, but you know if you don't get it then, you're never going to have this kind of shot ever again. And that's exactly what this lot is. Let's open her up. All right. This lot is so special that it comes in a chest of its own. It has its own home. Okay? Obviously, it's not bigger than a bread box. So what are we talking about here? Well, this is part and parcel a complete platform collection, both hardware and software. But again, not something I ever saw in a store, especially all bundled together like the way I found this ever again. So, let's open her up. Inside, we find a little pale blue console called the Neo Geo Pocket Color by SNK. As Japanese as they come. Okay. I believe it's asking for English or Japanese. There we go. I don't know why this thing restarted. Usually it just goes right to game. Okay. For whatever reason it rebooted. Of course. There we go. We have a game in there, and that'll be the first game we talk about. We're not going to boot up each and every game, but I wanted to give you an idea of how the screen works. And this is a non-backlit platform, which was really, most people would say, is its biggest downfall. But some would also say it's one of its greatest strengths, in that it really doesn't take a lot of power, a lot of batteries, to continue playing. The game we have in here is Fatal Fury R2, a fighting game. And that was, again, one of the Neo Geo Color's biggest strengths. Unlike most handhelds that struggled with fighting games, SNK, a company that was known for its fighting games, made sure that even its handheld versions of these SNK fighting classics were capable on this very small piece of hardware. So much so that it had one piece of equipment unlike anything else that we ever saw in any other handheld. A micro switch joystick. Clickety, clickety, click. A very capable fighting game that you could play for hours because it wasn't backlit, provided you had good lighting. Alright. We'll kill it, and we'll look at the other games that came with this sucker. And then at the end, I don't know if I said it or not, but I'll say it one more time at the end. How much we paid for the whole kit and caboodle. Okay? It started here, and it was wrapped up with 10 games. One of them being what we just saw. Fatal Fury R2. Dude, it is going to be really tough to get focused shots of these, okay? Trust me, I tried. Between the blown out white labels and the spot on autofocusing, it's going to be very difficult. Yeah, see, there you go. You don't have to trust me. It's King of Fighters R2. Okay? I'm not exactly sure what the R2 stands for. Maybe round 2? Just a guess. Okay. Next game here we have is Puzzle Link 2. If you know anything about me, whenever I look at a lot, I like to look at the big picture and think, is every genre represented in this lot? If I get stuck with just this platform, am I going to be able to play every basic genre ever created in video game history? I don't know why I feel that way. Maybe I got that from my grandparents when they went through the Depression. I have no idea. Anyway, Puzzle Link 2. A decent puzzle game. Nothing that's going to blow the doors off, but it gets the job done. I can't exactly describe the gameplay. It's been too long, frankly. Let's see. Another puzzle game, it's far more recognizable, is Bust-A-Move Pocket. You play a little lizard who's shooting bubbles from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen into like color bubbles, and if you can put 3 of the bubbles together, they all pop. I believe there's a 1-player mode where you're getting through a set number of stages that are predetermined where the bubbles are, and you have to try and clear them all. And there's a versus mode where you can play against the computer and against another person if you happen to know someone else has a Neo Geo Pocket Color, for God's sakes, and the cable that connects the two. Neither of which I've ever met, the cable nor someone who owns one of these things, in person. So, one of the nicest things about the Neo Geo Pocket Color was, in addition to being powered by batteries, it was also powered by a watch battery. You see that little compartment there? So you have the battery cabinet that powers the screen, most of the system, but you also have a watch battery that will save your progress. So you can always come back and play very quickly from where you were when you turned off the machine. All right, what do we got next? Another fighting game, Samurai Showdown 2. King of Fighters is team-based and more hand-to-hand combat. Samurai Showdown 2 This is for those of you who like swords and weaponized combat with a feudal Eastern Japanese flair. Very popular game in the arcade. Far more in focus in the arcade. Anyway. So we've got two good fighters here in this lot. One for hand-to-hand and one weapon-based. Always good to have an RPG. We happen to have one. I think, in my opinion, I would call this an RPG. The Neo Geo Pocket Color came around when Pokemon first came on the scene. Pokemon Red and Blue. So SNK tried their best to provide a kind of trading experience with an open world. And thus, they gave us Card Fighter Clash. Two versions of this were available. We happen to have the one that's not so valuable, but still competent nonetheless. Card Fighter Clash had SNK fighters and characters in card form fighting against Capcom characters, Street Fighter, Mega Man, and so forth. All card versions. We happen to have the SNK version, but if we happen to know anyone else out there who had the Capcom version, well, we could trade cards with them, and we could play with them in a strategic card-based battle situation. It's quite a good game. And again, it's an open world. It's got that same kind of addiction to Pokemon. The difference being is, well, I guess it would be unfair to say that the fights are more strategic in this than Pokemon, but I would say certainly is addictive. It's very fun to try and collect cards and try and create a deck to fight against the other players, whether they be human or computer. The closest thing I believe we have to an RPG in this lot. Surprisingly, Sonic the Hedgehog made it, and it is our platformer. A very competent, fast game that does not blur too much on the screen. They did a very good job of making this a competent game on a screen that you would think would just not be able to keep up with it. But it does a good job. It's called Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure. Very competent platformer. It does a good job of representing in our modest little Neo Geo Pocket Color collection. Again, that we got all together, wrapped in plastic. A little score-based, basic arcade action Pac-Man. I believe, I don't know if you see the whole screen or not as you go around in this one. I think you do, which is good. The ghost can't sneak up on you. That's how the original arcade version of Pac-Man was, obviously. Some of the handheld ones zoom in on Pac-Man a little bit so you can't see the whole field. That can make the game a little more difficult and certainly not as accurate as the game we're used to. So this is a good one to have just to pop in and play for 3 minutes and see if you can beat your score. Metal Slug Second Mission. A run and gun with also some shooter elements, some side-scrolling vehicle-based shooter elements. And this is a really good game for the system. It was exclusive to the system. And every level, it auto-saves. So it's very easy to come back to and continue on your second mission. So we had 8 games here. They did all come with cases. I tried to take the cases out so you could actually see. That was a failure. But that's how we go ahead. Okay. I'd be able to see them better if they were in there. What really sweetened the pot, though, what really made me feel like this is the one to go for, aside from the fact that you never see these, especially with games, what really made this a full collection for me, giving me every little bit and piece of what the Neo Geo Color had to offer, was it had some boxed games. Look at that. Metal Slug First Mission. How about that? Look at that. Why is that starting up again? Jade just got herself into another race. Oh boy. We'll have to deal with that soon. Maybe it'll be over. Alright. I think there's a way to open this sucker. Yeah, let's open it up. There we go. That's where the game goes. It fits a little better when the case is in there. And it's got the manual tucked away. Along with the sales sheet. Let's see if we can pull that. Oh boy. Okay. The manual's in there. We'll just leave it there. Okay, beautiful art. Beautiful game. And if that's not enough, if that wasn't enough, we had one more boxed game in this random lot that was all just wrapped up and sold to a store. We had a Japanese exclusive. Never made it here in the States. For the Neo Geo Pocket Color, a system I don't think I ever saw in person until I found this lot. If you like baseball stars, you're going to like this game. You can make your own team. And you can continue on with it. Game after game through a season. And name your players. I fired this thing up, and the person who owned this Neo Geo Pocket Color was, let's just say, highly disturbed, and named their players some of the most offensive things they could think of. And I'm talking running the gambit on offensive, from vulgar to just downright mean. For all I know, they're still on this card. Anyway, that was 10 games. And the Pocket Color. They were all together. And we got the whole collection, the whole kit and caboodle, the whole Neo Geo Pocket Color experience, from puzzles to fighting to role-playing to run and gunning to arcading to platforming. We got it all for $60. The price of a retail AAA game at the time. Not bad. Not bad. And that's it. Did I ever move on to getting my Neo Geo collection any more beefed up than that? No. Didn't need it. Didn't need it. We got the experience right there in one shot. And that is where our destiny lied. In the hands of someone else from a long time ago who just needed to get rid of the stuff. There it is. Alright, how much time we got here? We got about 13 minutes left. Let's go get a celebration drink, huh? How's that sound? Let's head on back to Beyond Good and Evil. I can't believe we're running out of time. There's so many things I'd like to do and show you in this game. I don't know if we're going to have time. Let's at least go get a drink, though. Okay? It's Beyond Good and Evil for the PlayStation 2. While technically Beyond Good and Evil HD for the PlayStation 3. Alright. More audio. We're still idling here. That must have been some sort of demo or something. Maybe a highlight reel of our great race. No, it's still going. Get me out of this race. Why am I here? Hold on, let me get my controller back on. Hopefully we can get out of this race. That would be a tragedy. Thank you. Don't exit game, exit race. No! What are you doing? Get me out of this! Ah, I don't have time for this. This is going to kill at least a minute or two to go back to this race. Why did it auto race? Ah, I was just idling outside the race. Alright, hold on. Come on, Jade, use all we got. Let's get through this as fast as possible. Oh. Unbelievable. Honey. Honey, honey. No, not the second lap. Unbelievable. Alright. We're almost done. Come on, let's go. Now I'm being as sloppy as possible because it's not about racing at all anymore. It's still fun, and it's really cool that you can come back here and do these again. I'm trying, Double H. I'm trying. In that regard, Beyond Good and Evil, aside from the world that you have to explore, there's lots of side interests that you can get into and come back to. And incidentally, you can actually upload your times for the hovercraft racing, among other distractions on the planet Hillys, to the PlayStation Network, and see if you can top the leaderboard. You could be the best hovercraft player out there in the universe. I don't think I've ever downloaded my time. Alright, here we go. Thank God. Get me out of here. Sorry about that. I don't know why they sent us back in there. Alright, let's go get a celebration drink for getting first place, huh? We're heading out to our favorite haunt across town, the Akuta Bar. It's located in the pedestrian district. Double H drinks around me, but we have more than just drinks on our mind as we head over to the bar. We got an email from a buddy of ours. Here it is, named Francis, who's hanging out over there.
Hi, Jade. Just a reminder, my favorite pearl is still up for grabs. Or you're scared of getting wiped out. Meet me in the bar, if you're ready to take a licking, that is.
Alright, Francis, we're on our way. You can see that the city is occupied by the Hillys Planetary Guard. You can also see that there seems to be some unrest. Again, it's a war zone. People are taking sides everywhere. Welcome to the Akuta Bar. This place is great. Here's Francis. Francis seems to be playing some sort of strange parlor game. And as you can see, on his head there is a pearl. He says if we can beat him, it's all ours. Oh, that's it. What is that? I didn't even know that was there. I gotta go talk to Francis. Francis, let's play. I got your crappy email. Yeah, let's play. You can bet credits, but we're going for the... We're putting 1,000 on the line to try and get that pearl. Let's see. Ah, damn it. Come on. Come on. Yes! Alright, it's best of 3. It's not over yet. Francis is just warming up.
Go!
Yes.
There we go. Yes. Thanks.
Bad, Gene.
Oh, I'm almost there! Come on! Come on! Oh, no! It's falling apart! Oh, no! God! Come on, stay accurate. No! No, Francis, don't do it!
Oh, what the?
No!
You lose.
Alright, final round.
Go! Ah, but you...
No! Ah! Why oughta? No! 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 No!
You lose.
Dang it! Francis, you're the worst. Take my money. Oh, man. Alright, we got time for one more. Let's do one more against Francis.
Okay.
Come on, one more, one more, one more. Yeah, I want to play again. Alright, let's try again. Almost had him.
Go!
Yes. Come on. Yes. Okay.
You win.
Almost got him. Come on.
Go!
Oh, no, Francis! Come on, Francis. Give me a break. Like, you even need that pearl. Let's go! Look, come on, come on, come on! Yes!
You
Yes! Give it up.
All right, fine.
All right, we got it. Thanks, Francis. Woo! Beautiful, beautiful. All right, we're gonna have to leave it there. Oh, I can't believe we're scratching the surface. We had to do that stupid race twice, so that knocked us back a little bit. But that's it. That's how it goes. We're gonna have to leave it there for now. Ah, what a ride. Oh my god. Alright. Thank you, Jade. That's Hillys. It is an incredible world. It has a great message. And when you're done with it, when you're done with Beyond Good and Evil, especially now, looking years back, you wonder why we never saw anything from it again. I cannot recommend playing this one enough. Don't look anything into it. We didn't get too much into what happens in Beyond Good and Evil for a reason. The story stands well enough on its own. There are characters to get invested in. There are twists, and there is a wonderful, robust world to explore. And Jade will steal your heart. Alright. It's really good to get this one under our belts. Alright, let's hit the old mailbag. Okay? And see what you guys got to say. Alright? The old bag that tells no tales. I think I hear an actual on-paper piece of question from you out there. Let's see if we can find it. If there's only one. Okay, here we go. This is from our friend Milton, who's all the way across the pond in the United Kingdom. Fascinating. I think we took the old boat there once. Rugby England, I think, for the football season. Oh yeah, nice place. Good food. I mean, as long as you get the fish and chips. All right. Ahoy, Captain. What happened, or what was your furthest... Do you know how to read? Ahoy, Captain. What was the furthest you've ever walked during a single trip? Well, I can't tell you exactly how long, but I can probably tell you when that was. There was a long time ago, many moons ago, where I happened to be in the Boy Scouts of America. And to this day, I was lucky enough to be around the right people to inspire me and drive me to get the highest rank in Boy Scouts, the rank of Eagle. If you are an Eagle Scout, if you obtain it, you become an Eagle Scout for the rest of your life. It is something that at the time seemed to be a nuisance. I mean, after all, the Super Nintendo was out. Why am I going to go camping? Are you kidding me? You realize Final Fantasy III's out there. Why am I working at a pancake breakfast? But as much as I covet those memories with the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, I never got the sense of pride beating Final Fantasy III and getting good with Dhalsim and Zangief and Street Fighter 2 that I got from being an Eagle Scout 30 years later. When I was 13, I was eligible to go on what is called High Adventure. High Adventure. You had to be 13 years of age and a certain rank. I'm not sure if it was life or first class. I think first class. You had to be a first class scout and 13 years of age to be eligible for High Adventure. I went to 2 of them. One of them was in the Man Chains of Michigan, where a lot of canoeing and portaging was involved. The other one happened to be in one of the Carolinas. I have to admit, it's been so long, I'm not exactly sure which Carolina, but I do remember mountains. And there were no canoeing on this trip. It was all hiking across 10 days, I believe. Many miles. I'm going to say it was probably a 25-mile trip, all said and done. That is a very right off the top of my head. But a lot of hiking was involved. All in one trip. I don't know what we did in one day. We must have done at least 5 miles in one day, I would assume. But this was out in the middle of the wilderness. This was low-impact camping. No one was there to help us if we got hurt, save by helicopter. We had to carry everything that we had for those 2 weeks on our back. Except for the food. The food was carried by a llama. It was a llama trek across the mountains in pristine wilderness. And that's where I learned that word. Pristine wilderness. Pristine, which has been untouched by man. Pristine. It was amazing. It was amazing. Reaching mountaintops that were covered with flowers and fields of green and gold, and experiencing it side by side with a llama. I have my parents to thank for that one. They not only paid for it, but made sure I didn't keep my butt inside playing Final Fantasy III. Not to mention all the brave scouts and scout masters who took the time to make sure a little jerk like me got the opportunity. Well, that's it for this adventure on the planet Hillys. I'm hoping that one day I'll look back at this one and think it was about time. Thanks for making it. We will see you soon. Not sure where, and not sure when, but I know one thing's for sure. Wherever we end up next time on this little tub of adventure, we're going to be there together. We're going to be there together. So until next time. All in a do, tea fair, Spanish maidens. Well in a do, ye ladies of Spain, for we received orders for to be beyond good and evil, and lo nevermore shall we see ye again. Hey Riz, you want to drop the falsetto next time with that one? Keep your powder dry, mate.